What's going on? How Dead Sport fan people? I think that's our show name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How
Cool.
did sports people?
Yeah. How Dead Sports people? Yeah. There you go. Welcome to another rendition of the show. This is Paul, and that's Austin. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, doing fantastic. It is pouring buckets outside. So we'll see how that goes in the morning.
Feel like I just saw you not that long ago.
You kind of question it. Mm, it might not have been that long ago.
Yeah. So exciting times, man. We're in WrestleMania week.
It it is what, 5 days away?
Yes. 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 Um, we'll go over the card, kind of get our thoughts, but how have you felt about the build or the lead into WrestleMania?
I have never been more confused in my life because the card itself is so exciting, but a
Yes.
majority of the builds have been so terrible, in my opinion. It's interesting. Like I say, majority of the builds, they still have really, really good builds going into Mania, but a majority of them have just been lackluster, except that they're going to bring it in the ring
Y-
when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with me. I think you and I talked one pod before about how I wasn't thrilled with, with some of the build. Um, but I actually I think it was prior to Elimination Chamber when we talked and I said I wasn't thrilled with everything just because of, it didn't feel like mania yet. But now we got to that point, and to be perfectly honest with you, I was looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm still am looking forward to WrestleMania up until 2 weeks ago.
Let me guess. It has to do with one man, or at least a lot of the caveat has to do with one man.
One man, three letters. One man and three letters.
One man in three letters.
Yes.
Enlighten.
Pat McAfee or Pat McAfee, depending on what you want to call him,
Okay. Oh,
and
and
TK
TKO.
and TKO.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 And that's for one match, which is
What
turning into several.
and the thing is that and I expressed this to some friends of mine. I said, I'm not opposed to having celebrities at WrestleMania. That's what it was built on. I just don't need it to be as a focal point of the main event unless it's being billed for over a long period of time. Like you didn't need McAfee to be involved in this due to the fact that I don't know, you got 25 plus years of Orton and Rhodes that that sells itself. There was no need for that.
I mean, it wasn't last week, but I believe it was the week before Cody touched on it. But again, touched on it. It should be their whole history going into the main event. It should be that
And,
history. It should be that back and forth. It should be that need to want to be that top guy still. But
right,
it turned into
a circus,
ticket
a joke.
sales. It turned into ticket sales. It turned into buy rates. It turned into the stuff that fans, some of the diehard fans enjoy listening to and kind of love getting into it. But like the casual fan doesn't give a damn about ticket sales.
No, I mean the casual fan kind of does if they want to go in terms of they don't want to pay, you know, 15 grand just to sit in the nosebleeds. I mean, I'm being funny about that, but that's what it feels like. And the thing is that like I understand the use of Pat McAfee, and especially when you're talking about being on ESPN and Pat McAfee having a large audience on that network. you could have had him being a guest host of WrestleMania. You could have had him on you could have had him on commentary for the main event if you really wanted to.
which I believe he'll end up doing something akin to that still.
Yeah, but there was no reason for him to get involved in the storyline of the main event anyway.
None at all.
I said if you wanted to go have someone involved within the storyline of the main event, you very easily, actually, I don't know, it could have been easily because I don't know what his contract status is. You very easily could have Flair, Ric Flair. There's a story there between the three.
Could have thrown in Flair. You could have thrown in just Triple H.
Yeah, you could have thrown in Triple H. You could have done all of that. But the Flair one makes sense because Flair could have went to Cody and said it was never about you. It was always about Randy. Randy was supposed to be the future of this business. Randy was supposed to be the one that broke my record, not Cena.
This is his time to right a wrong.
Yeah, they could have done that. But instead they went within the route of trying to sell tickets, and I haven't seen anything that stated that outside of Pat McAfee say, "Oh, tickets are 25% off," where he's a draw.
And the fact that it had to take him to come out and say, "Hey, tickets are 25% off." It it's kind of it's kind of embarrassing that it had to go to that length.
Well, I mean, it's embarrassing even when you have Punk coming out and doing a promo about ticket sales.
So I had a buddy who um is very who has recently over the last 2 3 years has just gotten back into wrestling because of me, and
You should have it come on the show.
I'd love to. I'll reach out. Um, but he was very happy and very adamant, very excited with that promo that Punk did. What was it, 2 weeks ago or whatever, about the ticket sales and everything, when he gave his pipe bomb 2.0 or whatever. He was raving about it. I said, yeah, I ended up when I watched it and stuff, I was like, yeah, it was a good promo, but it just sucks for the content of it.
I thought the portion of that promo was good. I thought the rest of it was very hypocritical.
It 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 just it wasn't CM Punk.
No, I everyone's like, oh, it was a great promo. Like it was okay. Like I've
Like,
heard better from him.
was it a good promo? I would say yes, it was a good promo. Is it one of his best? Absolutely not. Um, it like I said, it could have been a lot better. It just so happened to be the content of what the promo was about. And again, we go back and forth. I said that a majority of the build for this WrestleMania has been awful. Just most of the matches going around, I think the build has not been great, but there are still matches in there that the builds have been very, very good. In
Well,
particular,
well, shit. The best build out of them all is Oba versus Brock.
yep, that's the
And
one. That's
and you
the
know what,
one.
and you know what's funny about that match?
It's
And
simple.
it's simple to, and I think you talked about it a couple of times before, where two beefy men slapping meat, and you got that, and then you got um just the promo that Oba cut yesterday was so good. Like it was
Was
like
genuinely keeping up with one of the best promos the business has ever seen.
and Heyman like it was it was like less is more. Like Oba proved that he belonged. And by the way, for those of you who are watching, Austin, it has a Smoking Skull Championship belt, in which my fond memory of that title is The Rock throwing it over the bridge on a Raw one day. And then Austin coming out, and they're fighting, and Austin and Rock throwing Austin over the bridge, in which you know we still don't know how hurt Austin was after that. They kind
That
of
was
glossed over that.
that was what, WrestleMania 15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you got this Oba versus Brock match, which is probably the match that I know that I'm looking forward to because it's so simple and Brock is credible. Oba's turning himself to be credible. I've said before that I thought Brock should win barely, but but I'm I think Oba needs to win. And the only reason why I think Oba needs to win is because it's the first match on night two, and that's on ESPN. If you want to make a star, Oba needs to win.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
I think it's incredible.
now, and I'm not just talking about like the ESPN app. I'm talking about regular ESPN.
Yep.
Now, if Brock versus Oba was like match 3 or 4, yeah, Brock should win. That's fine.
But if you're going to televise it to whoever wants to watch it, instead of having to go out and pay that ESPN price or however means you seem to want to watch it, um, you putting it on national television, you make that guy, and Oba is right now that guy.
Yeah, I'm to a point where I can see them putting the belt on Oba fairly soon.
Look, I said it earlier to that same buddy. In 2 years' time, the WrestleMania main event will be Oba Femi versus Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
I said that for I just said that earlier today, and I 100% believe that. You're
Okay.
looking at you're looking at the future of the business in Oba, and I'd argue the current of the business in Jacob. And the only reason I'm not giving Jacob the future of it is because he's 41. He is a little up there where Oba is still on the younger side.
Yeah.
He's still got a lot of time. Jacob does have time, but not a lot. I think that those two will be the WrestleMania main event in about 2 years.
Yeah, and I think that's the case as well. I actually I mean I don't think it will be Oba versus J 5-2. I'm gonna go in the lines of Trick Williams.
I can see that too.
The,
I mean,
those
shit.
those two could be running neck and neck.
I mean, hell, I'd even throw in Braun Breaker.
And that's another person that we're forgetting about because he's still out.
Yep.
So yeah,
There's a lot of young talent.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we talked about the build. When we go into night one, we got the Vision and ISO Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's more of a spot fest. Get the crowd going. ISO Speed is probably gonna take some bumps and get killed. So it,
That's going to be a who cares about the build type deal. This is just going to be there for fun.
yeah, it's a fun match. It,
Yeah.
it's going to be ISO Speed doing what he does, and then the Usos coming out and yeeting all the way down in the ring.
I guarantee you in some way, shape, or form, if it'll be a bounce between I can already see a spot where one of the Vision is isolated. Probably if I had to guess, it would be Austin Theory. And you get the yeet yeah spot.
Yeah,
You got Jay on one side, LA Knight on the other, just pinballing. Like like I said, Theory is probably my guess for it.
yeet,
You know,
yeah,
yep,
yeet, yeah,
yep. I see that being a spot that happens. That, like I said, that's just going to be fun. I just
yeah,
think that one's just going to be, yeah, that put a smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine. Match number two that night would be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Um, I'm gonna go Jacob Fatu only because I think Drew is filming a movie at this point.
Yeah,
So Jacob Fatu needs to win.
Jacob
Um,
Fatu is going to win, but that is going to be an incredible match. That's another one from this year that the build has been very good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and the fact that it's an unsanctioned match, that means it's going to be a hard hitting and both guys could go. So I mean, I wonder where this leads and it puts Nick Aldis in terms of the story. We just have to see about that. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to that match. Um,
The moment I knew that match was going to be great is the SmackDown either 2 or 3 weeks ago when they basically turned into Peter Griffin and the Giant Chicken and they were fighting the entire time.
yeah, and didn't the night end with when they fell off the scaffold?
Yep, that's
Okay,
exactly how it ended.
all right,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, I was on the fence about this match, but last night's promo and brawl sold me on the match, which is Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan.
I didn't think it was a particularly good build. I didn't think it was a particularly bad build. They're gonna go. Um, I think I'm giving the nod to Liv.
Oh yeah, I think Liv's gonna win too. I think Liv's gonna win. But I thought, and let me just say this, Liv is smoking hot. There was a meme going around with her being held back and she had this crazed look that I was like, oh my God, that's sexy.
I can see that. Yeah,
I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I can see Liv, winning this. Um, you know, Liv's been a credible champion, even as a heel, has been a credible champion. So, and plus she's grown so much as a performer. You know,
just over the last 2 3 years.
yeah, yeah. So, we, that's one of those where, um, you want to root for her even though she's the heel and
Oh
she's
yeah,
hot and she's hot. The next match, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Dude, I'm taking Becky.
I'm also taking Becky.
Yeah, I mean they had a really good sit down promo a couple of weeks ago, which was, like I said, really good. But, I think this is one of those feuds where it probably was one match too long. Like I didn't think they need to have that match at Elimination Chamber, even though I understood why they did it because it's Chicago. But yeah, it's one of those where you really didn't need that match.
No, it was just to give AJ Lee a title reign, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I see it. I see it going, and this is one that like again, I'm talking about the builds a lot, but that's kind of what Mania is all about. It's the build in the night. This is a build where it's been good, not great, like I would have expected, but it's still been good. Um, and an unhinged Becky Lynch is my favorite Becky Lynch, especially when she's going crazy.
And that's the thing, like it took her a really long time for her to be, this is I'm gonna use this term, to be accepted as a heel. Because remember that forced heel run she had a couple of years ago where
With
nobody,
Bianca.
yeah, when nobody was buying it. Nobody was buying it. Now you're buying it.
All it took was for her to go away for a little bit, come back, and just be an arrogant ass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we both got Becky Lynch winning. The women's tag team match. Um,
This is interesting because of the recent developments.
in terms of the Bella Twins,
Yep.
okay.
Did you hear if they're not able to go, they're going to be replaced? There's thoughts that if Nikki is not able to go, they're going to be replaced by the Kabuki Warriors, which would end up axing Asuka and Io from the card.
Yeah, but that match hasn't been added anyway, unless it's going to be added later this week.
It was it was brought up on social media last week and then like a day later erased, which is why that got interesting.
But I'm wondering too, and we can say this for night two, if if the plan is for EO to get involved in Jade and Rhea, and then you can have the Kabuki Warriors, you know,
Get involved in that involvement.
get involved in that. I don't know, but as far as who I think will win, I think Nia and Lash Legend should win, even though it wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte and Alexa won.
That's my pick, and I think they go full heel because I truly believe that Alexa and Charlotte being a heel tag champs would be fantastic because you kind of saw some of that uh, last week um, with Alexa and who's she wrestling? Regardless, I believe that Charlotte and Alexa are going to win, and they are going to just be insufferable, and it's going to be the best part.
Yeah, no, I want Nia and Lash to win just because I'm digging that tag team, but I'm also digging Charlotte and Alexa. Um, I don't know if Charlotte and Alexa will win just because um, I just think that at some point you got to pull the trigger on Charlotte and Jade and Jade heel Jade versus babyface Charlotte needs to happen, but we'll see, we'll see. Next match we have, which I think will be the match of the night, maybe the second best match of the weekend, Seth versus Gunther.
One of the builds that did not take very long, but got me very invested.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's as simple as I want to be the best.
And honestly, sometimes that's what is needed. You don't need, oh, I hate you, or I want to kill you, or you slept with my woman. No, you don't need stuff like that. You know, I simply want to be the best, and unfortunately, because of injuries to probably their respective opponents, we get this. It's probably going to be the match of the weekend.
You make the best of a bad situation, and the best could end up being better than the original.
Right, right, right.
Because I don't think they had a singles match before.
I don't think so.
I
You
don't
know,
think
you're
so either.
and I know you always talk about contrasting styles.
Oh yeah,
You got Gunther with his slow, methodical approach, and Seth with his, um, you know, I'm not gonna say high octane, but a little bit more athletic. Well, actually, a lot more athletic than Gunther. So, so you're talking about a contrasting style of wrestling. So, like I said, this is a match that I'm looking forward to. Um, I think Gunther will win, only because I do think Gunther will cheat, and there's a possibility we could see Braun Breaker back. If not WrestleMania or the Monday after WrestleMania.
They might save him for the Monday after, but if he came back at Mania to cost Seth in some way, I would be perfectly happy with it. I also do believe Gunther is going to win that match. But I'm just looking forward to the competition between the two because, like you said, it's probably going to be the match of the night
Hmm.
and arguably match of the weekend, maybe second best.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
All right.
it's going, like you said, it's just going to be very, very good.
Right.
You're looking at two of the best in the business right now, just going head to head. Because
Yep.
why? They want to be the best. I love that.
Yeah. And so you know what this match kind of reminds me of in a way? You know how in Saudi they have like when the two world champions wrestle and they have like that ugly huge green belt? Or
Yeah.
that's what this match is. And that's okay. You know, you can have that, you know. I feel like this match is specifically for the diehard fans.
It definitely is. Oh, it
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah, and like I said, Seth doesn't need to win. But I do think Gunther needs it just so he can keep riding that momentum that he kind of lost in a way because he hasn't been able to do much because guys keep getting hurt.
Well, he went off the back of retiring Cena, then retiring Styles, and then it was like, and all right, we got nothing for you.
Yeah,
Just kind of hang around.
yeah. Let's choke Dragon Lee on a rope.
All right, that's the best we got for you right now.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
fun.
Let's do that. So yeah, and then we get to the main event: Cody versus Randy, and the stipulation: if Orton loses, no more Pat McAfee in the wrestling business. I
That's never
highly
going to happen.
I highly doubt that happens just because of what's going on. Um, I'm taking Randy Orton. I was taking Randy Orton before this whole Pat McAfee situation.
For me, this just kind of confirmed it
Yeah.
that
It,
Randy's going to win.
it will be a good match. Um, what I would like to see in the beginning of the match is just a montage history of each of at least both of the participants. And then I would love to see both people come out. So you remember in WrestleMania, I think it was it 39 or 39, was 39 or 40, where Roman came out and you saw the lineage
I was
on.
39.
Okay.
That was super cool.
I,
Yeah.
I think you need something like that for when both Cody and Randy come out for their respective entrances. And even if you have to put in Gold Dust for Cody or even Dustin, when he was in WCW, they probably won't use footage of, Dustin now in AEW, but you can always go back to Gold Dust and shoot some old NWA stuff with Dusty, and then go with Orton's family with Cowboy Bob and his uncles and stuff like that. So you can so that's the kind of stuff that I want to see. But as we talked about earlier, you didn't need Pat McAfee to be involved in this.
It didn't need that extra stuff. This is one of the few matches that didn't need any extra. It had all that it needed just from the
Now,
moment that it was booked.
now, the flip side of that is that I don't think what Pat McAfee said was wrong. I just don't think Pat McAfee was the right person to say the stuff.
Who would you have preferred?
Honestly, if I mean, you could have gone with Rock, you could have gone with Flair, you
Mm.
could have gone with anybody, but that dude.
So the Rock would have. I think the Rock would have been perfect for that
The Rock
spot.
would have been
Actually,
perfect for it, but I like I said, I understand I think I'm pretty good in understanding the business situation of this because that's part of me as a fan is like I that's why I don't get mad because I was talking to some buddies of mine yesterday and they always tell me, you know, he's like I hate talking wrestling with you because um you always go to the business side instead of being a fan. I go, yeah, that's how I don't get mad.
Yeah. I
Be-
mean, when you look at it from the business size, the lows don't get too low, but the only problem with that is that the highs don't get as high.
Right, right.
But
So I mean, I understand it. I may not like it, but I get it. So unfortunately, TKO has kind of put their nose in Cody Rhodes' main events the past three WrestleManias.
see, now I thought of this question as we were kind of going through the card, and I just want to pose this one real quick before we go on to Sunday.
Hmm.
Which setup would you prefer over the last two WrestleManias for Cody Rhodes? Last year, where you had a really good build leading into a less than exceptional match, or would you prefer it be this year where it's been a not very good build, but you're going to get an exceptional match?
But I would argue it was a good build up until the past 2 weeks.
They it, yes and no. I personally haven't thought it's been a great build because the again you don't want to use it over and over, but the word legacy has been word used once, only once, and you still have yet to have that actual face to face promo battle or that promo off between Cody and Randy.
Well, didn't you have that in a contract signing when Orton allegedly turned heel?
Did they really talk much though?
Yeah, I thought they did.
It just you haven't I haven't gotten that feeling. I
Okay.
have I but that's me personally. I just haven't gotten that feeling that it's been a great build at all. I mean, there's like we've said, they have a lot of history to go off of, and I feel like they haven't even scratched the surface on it.
Yeah, and I think for me, yeah, unfortunately, with this whole Pat McAfee stuff, it kind of took everything away. And now your your champion, your QB1, the guy who's supposed to be the top baby face in your company, is the third most important person within this match.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Pat McAfee's number one, then is Randy Orton, then Cody Rhodes.
Yep. It, I just had to pose that question real quick
Yeah, no,
because there's that, and then uh with the addition of uh on top of it, with the addition of Jelly Roll kind of in it, kind of,
and that's another thing. Jelly Roll being in this, once again, I get it. That's fine. I'm not a huge, I think Jelly Roll did fine in SummerSlam. It made sense. But you know where this is leading, right? You know that there's going to be a tag team match in Backlash.
yeah. And personally, I have very much enjoyed everything we've gotten out of Jelly Roll in the wrestling business because you could see the progression.
Yeah.
And when he's gone out there to quote unquote wrestle, you can see that he's trying. Like it's gotten tremendously better. Like, I'm sorry, his match with Kit Wilson, I had a blast watching that.
Oh, it was good. It was really good. But
And yeah, it,
no, I just think like even with um the celebrities, particularly this time, and this is the thing that I told my buddies last night. I said, if you're gonna roll with Pat McAfee and or Jelly Roll in this situation, I would have preferred them. I would have preferred it to be in a lesser PLE. Like if you want to do this at a Saudi show, sure, fine. If you want to do it at a Backlash or a Money in a Bank or what other 10 PLEs or 8 PLEs that they have outside of the big four, okay. But for WrestleMania, uh,
See, me personally, I wouldn't even be that mad if it was like a SummerSlam. I wouldn't be that mad.
okay, I can see that. But yeah, but for WrestleMania, nah. I mean, this is where this is the Super Bowl.
It's the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the biggest event on the calendar every single year.
right.
So having these weird builds, you really prefer them not to be on your biggest show of the year.
Now, I'm actually looking at night two, the card for it right now. It has seven, I'm sorry, it has six matches. And I'm assuming that Oscar versus EO could have been seven on night two. I have an issue with some match placement. And I'm gonna tell you now that I'm studying this card. Correct me, t- tell me if you agree or not. I think you can have Brock versus Oba kick off night one. I'm sorry, night two. Do you know what I think should have kicked off night one?
Um, See, me, if you're doing Brock and Oba on night two, I want to throw in that IC title match.
Correct. The ladder match. That should have kicked off night one.
Because why do you have that kick off the night? Get the crowd going.
Yes.
Get excitement. Get some high flying spots. Just get people going.
Because the way that I'm looking at this card right now for night two, we already talked about Brock versus Oba. That's going to get the crowd all hyped. Then you're going to get the tag team. I'm sorry, they're going to get the Intercontinental title match, which is going to also kill your crowd.
You're gonna keep them up here.
And then now you get Jay versus Rhea. Now everyone's going to go like this.
That that's a death spot for them. I think specifically for Jade in this instance, that's just a death spot.
I'm not a fan of that match placement. I I think the IC title match should have kicked off night one.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, which match kicks off night one?
The six-man tag between the Vision and Ice Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight.
Yeah, you flip them. I think you flip them.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
just flat out flip them.
yeah,
You have that IC title match kick off night one, and you have that uh 6 man be the second match on the card night two.
yes,
Because it'll
yes,
still keep the crowd going, but it's not the highest of highs.
yeah. Because like I said, you're gonna have Brock versus Oba. Everyone's gonna be all high because everyone's expecting greatness from that match. Everyone's gonna enjoy the spot fest that is that Intercontinental ladder match, and then Jade and Rhea are being used as that I'm gonna go take a piss match.
And which match comes after that?
Trick
Because
versus
this
Sammy.
oh, okay, that's not what I thought would be it. Hmm. Okay. So to go back to it, like you said, we've already had that conversation about Oba and Brock, so I don't think we need to go back into that. Just to recap, who are the participants in that ladder match?
Penta comes in as the champion. Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, my guy, and Rey Mysterio.
Okay, so
Screw you, Tony Khan.
so there's going to be a lot of flippy stuff that happens.
and that's okay. And
That's going to be incredible. And Rusev
Rusev,
is just going to be that brute.
yep, and that's
He
okay.
he's going to be the pseudo Kane from.
I was gonna say this kind of reminds me of when they decided to put Big Show and or Kane in a ladder match.
Yep, that's kind of my thought. You need that one big guy. Um, See a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people, and you can correct me if you're wrong. I feel like a lot of people will expect Javon to come out the winner.
I don't think it's his time yet.
I don't think it's his time either. Do you know who I actually believe will win it?
Rusev.
Dragon Lee.
Oh, I can see that. I want Rusev to win.
That again, having the big guy win the ladder match would be funny to me. I think that would be very funny. Just the irony of it. I think it would be great. I just don't think. See, nobody really in this match outside of Penta has the momentum to be able to carry to say, "Hey, you get the title." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they'll give it to Ray
He's had his time.
unless unless you give it to
I see where
Ray
you're coming. I see
and
where you're going.
Dominic takes it off of him.
Yes, but he has a match, I believe, later in the card
Oh, he wrestles the demon.
that I don't believe he's going to make it out of in one piece,
Who,
or at least
Dominic?
yeah, I don't
Oh
believe he
no,
should make it
no,
out in one piece.
no.
So even that, he wouldn't have the momentum necessarily going forward unless you wanted to wait out until like a SummerSlam.
Yeah,
But that's besides the point. My vote for that match, I'm going with Dragon Lee.
I'm going Rusev.
I respect that
I'm going Rusev. All right. There we go with the I'm gonna take a piss match. Oh, not because I think these two ladies are bad, just because of card placement.
because you're getting off of just the emotional roller coaster of the first two.
And my issue as I'm thinking about this a little bit more, don't you want the people to get hyped for Rhea's music?
Yeah,
They're
and
th
wouldn't you want to put them in a position where you get the crowd going for, well, obviously the crowd's going to get going for Rhea, probably not the way that it should with this match placement, but you also want to get the crowd going for Jade too. She's
I
also a massive star that you need to try to
I
help get up.
I think the Jade Rhea match should be after any time you decided you want to bring out the Hall of Fame participants. So so if that's so maybe they should have switched Sammy and Trick with those two.
That would have been more. That would have been better, I think.
It's because it's match four, and then I'm assuming it's going to be, oh hell, if or even if you want to put the women's championship match before the world title,
Have it be co-main.
yeah, have it be co-main event. Yeah,
I
you
think
could
that
do,
would have been much better placement than where it is now. Absolutely.
yeah, you could do it that way.
Um, with all that being said, Rhea walks away with the title.
I don't think so.
I do.
Then what do you do
Uh,
with Jade?
See, I don't know. I, I I haven't thought about that. I just think they're kind of looking at it going, what do we do with her? Even if she does retain, what do we do with her? Because you again, you said it earlier, you could have that Charlotte match, but again, I think that Charlotte match is also kind of more so for the diehards because you want to see Jade work with somebody to the caliber of Charlotte. Because as good as Rhea is, and I do believe she's one of the better wrestlers in the women's division and has the opportunity to be like her, but she is not Charlotte yet.
Oh no, no, and you put Rhea there because you want your biggest women's star on the card in
for
a
WrestleMania.
for WrestleMania, but that doesn't mean she has to win. I do think Rhea's in the same position as Charlotte was last year, to where you're just there to make our champion look good. Rhea will have her time. Believe me, she will have her time.
She's got the next 15 years to have her time, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. So me personally, I think Jade Cargill will win. If not, I riot.
If there's one that does, it's
No,
you.
I mean, honestly, if there's a match that will piss me off about the finish, it's going to be that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am a huge Jade Cargill fan. I will defend her until
And the cows come home.
exactly, exactly.
And you have done it in the entirety of us talking,
Yes,
which I've pretty much agreed with you the entire time.
yeah,
I just don't think that the WWE has given her much to work with.
no, but I do think once assuming that she wins, that she will defend that title more. She's gonna have to.
I just she's going to have to be able to give herself a little bit more credibility in the eyes of the WWE fans.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed.
And I'm sorry for whoever the women that have to be it. She's going to have to win convincingly a lot. She's going to need to show some of those like early AEW days where it's a 4 minute match. I think you're going to need a couple of them where she just utterly dominates.
What if Jay dominates Rhea? Does it hurt? Does it hurt Rhea?
Depending on context, I believe it would hurt Rhea, but
Does Rhea need to take a
oh,
step back?
I
I'm
think
not. I'm not saying a squash match. No,
no, just a dominating
just
performance.
just a dominated performance where you have to take this chick seriously.
I believe if that were to happen, because with you just throwing that out there, I could definitely see that as a possibility. If that were to happen, you have Rhea take a couple months off, and then you have her come back with just that fire, that fury, that just the I have to take you a little bit more seriously. So I'm going to come with a lot more aggression. And then you can have like that big rematch at SummerSlam where again, if the dominating performance does happen, you eventually do have Rhea take that title off of Jade at say SummerSlam.
Right.
That could be a fantastic idea.
Okay. All right. I mean, as we were talking, it popped in my mind because we were just talking about dominant performances. Would a 10 minute or yeah 10 minute dominant match by Jade, because I think Rhea's untouchable in terms of like she's Teflon. Like I don't think anything would hurt her at all. I don't think her losing to Jade in a dominant fashion would hurt her at all.
It would make fans go, hmm. I truly believe it would make fans go, hmm. But then again, like I said, if you have her take those couple months off afterwards and then have her come back, I think I just think that would be perfect. Just the okay, I need to step away for a little bit, or the uh yeah, I think just having her be like, all right, I need to step away for a minute. Obviously, something wasn't working. Uh, let's go ahead and take a step back and find out a little bit more about myself, and you have her come back and just again come back with a fury and more of a all right, let's not mess around type attitude. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah. United States title, Trick versus Sammy. I think we're both in agreement that Trick's going to win this match.
I am not.
Really? Really?
I unfortunately I am not.
Okay.
Trick will win the United States Championship. I do not think it'll be at WrestleMania. I think, granted, I think Sammy has turned heel already, but I think you see him go full heel on WrestleMania. You
You
see
think he
him
cheats
cheat
to
to
win?
win. You
Okay.
know, maybe a low blow while the ref's not looking. Maybe a little grab of the tights on a surprise roll up type deal. Have Sammy win, but by the skin of his teeth. Kind of similar to what we were saying with Brock and Hope.
Or the pulling. He does a schoolboy and he holds onto the tights
Holds onto the tights, maybe grabs
or
the
the
rope,
rope. Okay.
something.
And honestly, the only reason why I'm picking Trick is because
The
I
stage, I think.
I think the stage and I think like a main roster feud between Trick and Mello will be awesome.
This also kind of goes back to the caveat: is Mello really hurt?
Oh, I didn't know he was hurt. Is that why they took the title off of him?
Well, he had the match with Sammy, uh, not last week, but the week before, and uh, he was uh, he was giving his knee some stuff.
Some attention. Okay.
Yeah,
All
some.
right.
It looked a little more than selling, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it goes to that caveat: is Mello really hurt?
Okay.
If he's not, do the title change.
Okay.
If he is, I say maybe you have Sammy retain by nefarious ways, and um, you know, maybe a backlash title change. Which again, it's not WrestleMania, so that does kind of suck. But I think it would play better into the story if you have Sammy beat Trick by cheating. You can have Trick come out and be like, "Hey, you can't beat me straight up." Then you throw in a little stipulation or something. Then it could be a fun time.
Okay. I still think Trick is winning, but that
That
that's just me.
completely fair. I could see either way. I'm leaning Sammy right now.
Right. Um, the Demon versus Dominic Mysterio.
Finn is going to eat him alive, and it's going to be fantastic.
Okay. Well, I think we agree on that match. I think it'd be honestly, I think the spectacle. I guess my question is this: will it be dark in the stadium by the time? I know it's a dome, but will it be dark in the stadium by the time it's time for the Demon entrance?
God, I hope so.
Because I do miss that that entrance. That now I think it was the last time we saw the Demons when he wrestled Roman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the Phantom turnbuckle,
Yeah.
which kind of killed the character for a while. And this is your opportunity to bring him back and make him credible.
And I'm sorry if you're going with the demon character, this match should last 5 minutes.
And again, I'm sorry. I think this should have been a surprise.
Oh, I agree with you. And
Or you bring him you hint at it yesterday. You hint at it. You don't
yeah,
go out and say it.
but I'm wondering too if it's a TKO call.
Probably.
And
You
plus,
have to assume to garner attention.
and plus the fact that isn't Dominic still cursed?
Yes, I believe so. Love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
I am happy that we got our truth
Danhausen moment.
in a moment. I am happy about that. Very happy about it.
I'm excited to see how he makes an appearance.
I'm wondering if he makes an appearance at the Hall of Fame ceremony. I I I actually I actually think there's two things that they can do. One, he makes an appearance at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and then number two, when they're in during the introduction of the Hall of Famers or the recognition of the Hall of Famers during WrestleMania night, he comes out.
Again, that would be perfect. I think that would be incredible. But also, it's kind of like that. It's one of those things where it's like it's the Hall of Fame. Do we really want to throw in some of that funny stuff with them? It, do you know? So I know Stephanie is in it.
Hmm.
Who are the rest?
Demolition,
Okay, I do remember Demolition.
Sid,
Oh, that's awesome.
um, AJ Styles, um, give me a second. Stephanie, AJ Styles, Demolition, Dennis Rodman, Bad News Brown,
Oh yeah,
um, yeah, and then they're putting the immortal moment Hogan versus Andre.
that's the second one, correct?
Yes, because last year's was Brett
Brett and
versus.
Austin.
Yep. You had probably what people may say may be the best match of all time at WrestleMania. Probably with the second be I guess most important match of WrestleMania.
Yeah, you get like you said, what's arguably the best match in WrestleMania history and the biggest match in WrestleMania history.
Yes.
So perfect.
So it works out. I think Stephanie might be Stephanie's the headliner, so she'll get the bulk of the time. So now we'll go to the main event, Punk versus Roman. This is one of those main events where I actually have enjoyed the the build for it. I mean, you're talking about two dudes that hate hate each other. You had Punk talking about he's going to bury Roman next to his father, which, you know, it put me in a work where it pissed me off. And then last week's Punk promo pissed me off because I'm like, dude, eh, I don't like it when you're hypocritical because you're talking about Roman quitting football or failing at football, but did you forget the dude got leukemia and had to quit football?
Do you not forget 12 years ago when you left?
Yeah,
When
and you
you
just
actually quit?
and then you talking about you don't need wise men's and advocates, but you were a Paul Heyman guy at one point.
And that
And
was the big caveat to their match last year was having
yeah,
Paul Heyman.
yeah, and not to mention that, you don't need groups and stuff like that, but you suppose you brought in the Shield?
You brought in the Shield. You had the Straight Edge Society. You were leader of Nexus.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like half of that promo I can get with. Other half of the promo, dude, you're being a freaking hypocrite.
but at the end of the day, it's still CM Punk and it's still Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and I thought yesterday's promo did a really good job, and not because of, they didn't do anything in terms of like physicality, but you saw two dudes that spoke glowingly about each other, but in a way of, yeah, I hate you because you're every you of things that you have that I don't.
There's a hatred there, but there's also a mutual type respect.
Correct. Like Roman's talking about, I hate you because over 10 years ago you left And while I'm trying to sit up here and build myself to be this top dude, they're still chanting your name. And then Punk comes back and say, I hate you or I'm envious of you because of your legacy, of your heritage, of the fact that I had to bust and claw in the indies while you were born and bred into this business.
Yeah, it kind of it last night's promo kind of set it back on track, I think.
So now, so it kind of goes back to what Roman was talking about this deep hatred for him, but I think Punk kind of took everything back when number one, he apologized about what he said about Sika. And then number two, like you said, there's some respect and admiration because they're both at the top of their games, but they got there differently.
Yeah, and it's been two different. Yeah, they got there differently. It's been two different paths. It's just going to be incredible.
I don't think this is going to be a traditional wrestling match. I think this is going to tell a great story. It's going to get physical. Um, but at the end of the day, I do think Roman's going to win.
I'll argue that this would be the longest match of the weekend because Roman matches are always at least a half an hour long. But you throw in Punk with this stipulation, with it being the final match of WrestleMania, I think this goes 35 minutes in some way. Um, and I've been going back and forth in my mind about it, about the final, about the finish, about who's going to win. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I thought, hey, what if Punk won? What if they were able to tell a story going forward with that? Um, as I sit here today, as I sit here right now, I think Roman walks away.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think it's set up for Roman to walk away as the champion, and and it's gonna be a good match. I think this will probably the best Roman match he's had at WrestleMania. I mean, 40 was good.
ooh,
40 was good.
he's had some stinkers, but he's also had some real good ones.
Yeah, I think this has the possibility to be better than 40. And let's be realistic. The reason why 40 was good was because of the last 5 minutes.
Well,
I mean, it told a
I
good story,
I
but
think it puts it in the all time category because of the last 5 minutes. I
yeah,
think it was still a very great match. Um, which is why that WrestleMania, that main event was so special.
well,
We talked about it.
40 all weekend was really good.
Yeah.
40 all weekend was really good.
I,
And
that match specifically because of all that went into it.
yeah,
Like you said, the 40 some years of history that led into it. That match was just a culmination of something that you'll never see again.
right.
But you know, you got 40, that was really good. I think last year's match was fantastic. The triple threat with Seth.
Yeah,
Um,
that was really good too. Yeah.
I am a very big component that the first Lesnar match
At
was
third
amazing.
at 31.
Yeah, with the Rollins cash in at
Yeah.
the end. And the Rollins cash in didn't make the match. I think it put it into that
It
all time
added.
type
It
category.
added something.
But it was the story of Brock beating the literal shit out of Roman,
Hmm.
and he just won't go down. That's what that match was. I thought
Yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah, I didn't think 32 was bad. I just think that people didn't want Roman at the time.
I I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was good. I think it was just there. But it was the main event, which made it bad.
So I put Roman and Triple H in my category of main events that I go back and I watch that people think they're bad, I actually think that are pretty good. It's kind of like how I felt about Triple H and Orton. You and I would disagree on that because you thought that match was horrible. I thought the match was was good. It was just slow and methodical, and honestly it should have been a no holds barred match.
Well, yeah, we talked about it before. The build that they were telling and the match that ended up happening was not the same that ended up happening.
Yeah, didn't Triple H win by using a sledgehammer anyway?
Yep,
Yeah, it should have
yeah.
been no holds barred match. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Um, I think with that Mania 32 match, I think the reason that it ended up being the main event and everything is because of Triple H having the title. I think the reason that it was looked down is because Triple H shouldn't have been the champion. It
Well, you
shouldn't
remember,
have.
you had that stipulation at the Rumble where it was one versus all.
Yeah, it was Roman going. I think the belief was that Dean should have won, and it should have been Roman and Dean Ambrose at Mania
Well, that's also the WrestleMania that Seth got hurt. Oh, before the WrestleMania that Seth got hurt.
because I think they were going to end up going
The
for the Shield triple
Shield
threat,
triple threat. Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
think never happened.
No.
But again, the way that they were able to build the three of them in that
Actually,
triangle,
I think they wrestled at a pay-per-view at the time, not PLE, but pay-per-view, but it wasn't at a WrestleMania.
like how does the order go? Roman can't beat Seth. Seth can't beat Dean. Dean can't beat Roman.
Yeah.
I love that aspect to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think we'll get um I think we'll get a really good match. I thought Roman and Punk has done a really good job of 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 selling you from the night after the Rumble on this match. And the physicality of it was great. Actually, speaking of physicality, if we go back to Brock versus Oba, as much as I love that physicality, I probably didn't need to see it, even though it added something to it. And that's why my thought of Oba getting the best of Brock during these face to face would have led to Brock winning at Mania. But like we talked about earlier, since you're having this on free TV and you want to make a star, yeah, Oba has to win. Now Brock can always come back and get him, and you can always have a best of three. But Oba's got to get the first one.
Oba's got to get this first one. And again, Brock is one of those guys. He'll never lose credibility.
No,
He'll always be that guy. Um, so, and two things about this build specifically. One, you can tell, at least recently, that Brock, whether he wants to admit it or not, he does care about the business because he has been trying to help guide Oba throughout this entire thing to make him look like a dude.
right?
And two, it goes back to the old saying, if you get a motivated Brock Lesnar, you're going to have a great time. It's going to be very good. I think
Yeah,
right now you have a motivated Brock Lesnar.
yeah. What's the thing? If Brock wants to do business with you, you're gonna get a hell of a match.
Oh, yeah. And if he
And
doesn't, it won't
just go back to 32.
with Dean.
Yeah, go back to that WrestleMania. And that was a match that I truly thought was going to be the match of the night.
Well,
And
going into it, you could only have thought.
and that match was horrible.
Yes. Oh, man. God awful.
Yeah. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm curious on how they're going to try and um look over the attendance aspect of it. Maybe they'll start off by saying that this is the largest gate in WrestleMania history for both nights.
It happens every year.
But they won't stay say it's a sellout
No, because it won't be.
because it won't be. I think they'll get under it'll be under 43,000 for both nights, and they'll probably say this is the largest gate in WrestleMania history
No,
because
because of
it
the prices.
because of the prices, right? But you know, question: do you think if this WrestleMania was in New Orleans, they'll be closer to a sellout?
Yes.
Okay, that I actually agree with that too.
Yes, because you're double dipping in Vegas,
Yeah,
and it's
and
Vegas.
yeah, you don't kill it to you don't kill a territory.
You're double dipping Mania in Vegas. Last year, what you had in Vegas was special. It was perfect. It was great. Move on.
Right. See, this kind of reminds me, and I'll put this in the corporate world when you have like a client that gives you a tons of sales, and then your boss tells you to milk to milk that source instead of just letting it lay low for a while, then go back. This is what they're doing.
I mean, you're milking them dry.
Yeah, and
And
plus
again,
Vegas
and
isn't ex Vegas isn't exactly a number one a wrestling town, and two, it's a lot of money to go to Vegas.
on top of the tickets, on top of the hotel, on top of the airfare, on top of everything, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
You have it in New Orleans, I think that changes things a hell of a lot.
yeah,
Hell, you have it just about anywhere else. I think it changes.
absolutely, absolutely.
But
I do think that if things don't change in a certain region, they're going to be putting WrestleMania back in New Orleans for 43.
well, yeah, that's if it doesn't change in certain reasons, because everybody would still love to see Saudi Mania.
I don't.
Again, joking.
Oh, I know. I wasn't, but I know.
um, the only good thing about that would be is that Mania starts at like 11 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, yeah, because of the time. Yeah,
It doesn't go super late. You're done by like 4. Then you can go have an evening. That would be the only good thing. But
that's a good point.
if you want to do something like that, go to London. Go to somewhere, go overseas, go to Europe somewhere, specifically like London or the UK somewhere, because they have been a great wrestling town for wrestling forever.
Yeah,
And you had Cena come out a couple years ago and be like, hey, let's get one here.
yeah.
And nothing has come of that.
Speaking of that, I wonder what the interaction is going to be with with Danhausen and the "You Can't See Me" man.
That's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I
So
and the funny thing is you could have a if John was still going today, you could have an entire show just be John and Danhausen,
yeah,
and it would be entertaining the entire way through. And again, talked to my buddy beforehand. He's like, I love Danhausen. He's like, I hated that he got booed the way he did when he debuted, but
yeah,
I'm loving him right now. I was like,
yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
told you, yes.
You and I talked about this, and this is where it kind of goes back to the whole the whole crate and the whole anticipation, whereas wrestling fans built themselves up for something that was bigger, turned out to be a disappointment, and where the real disappointment is what we got with Pat McAfee.
And again, it's something super simple. The guy doesn't really even need to wrestle,
No,
and he's still going to be one of the best parts of the show every week.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he gets the crowd going with 3 words.
Well, it actually was pretty funny because there was a I saw a skit today where he was talking. I think was it Pyro. He was backstage with the Pyro people,
Mhm.
and he had a stack of hundred dollar bills that he was gonna possibly give one of them, and then he ended up giving like a dirty $10 bill to one of the pyrotechs, and I just start laughing.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But let's he's going to be entertaining for a long time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So.
And then whenever Truth does decide to retire, Danhausen will be the comedy character.
hmm And honestly, I just like the fact that, you know, they're moving him from brand to brand. I would love to see him on NXT.
I figured he would have already shown up.
I would love to see him on NXT.
To tell you the truth, what if he were to show up at Stand and Deliver?
That'll be fine.
Wrestle. Wait, just a little confusion.
Yeah,
No,
I
Marley.
mean, Truth used to get lost going to different places.
That was hysterical. I loved every second of that.
Yeah, or go to different, like if a state or a country has the same name, he's in another country with that different city.
Yeah, because what was it the one year? He was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia and he ended up going to Serbia or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, it's going to be hysterical because also he will show up in the weirdest places,
Yeah, absolutely.
just like
Absolutely.
Truth did,
Yep.
just different.
Yep. Got anything else?
Um, no, I'm looking forward to Mania. Um, and then something that's arguably just as important, the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, we should see um some surprises. I think we touched on Braun Breaker being back. Um, you know, definitely see that. So we just have to see, you know, what they do after that. So I'm looking forward to it.
It should be a lot of fun. Everything should be a lot of fun. The build may not have been the best. It might not have been what we have wanted, but it will be a great time.
Yep. Yep. So, all right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, once again, like and subscribe. Um, we thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell your people about the show. For Austin, this is Paul. Talk to you soon.
See ya.